Hi, my name is Megan Locke, and tonight we will be talking about what makes an effective lesson plan. And so, what I have seen from my experience of watching YouTube videos and watching my mom teach and just being a student, effective lesson plans typically have a sense of flow or like a rhythm, kind of like a tempo almost. And like the teachers were prepared. They had the equipment. They knew what issues the students were going to have in their learning schedule, and so they would address that by allocating certain amounts of time to like certain topics that were more difficult than others, um, and less time to the ones that they picked up fairly quickly. The lessons were also sequential. They built off the lesson before. Um, they also had like the building blocks first, and then they would build off of that idea. They would scaffold everything, and it was just like they used their resources wisely. Like, I mean, they just had a plan, they had a schedule, they knew what to get their students ready, what it took to get their students ready. They also had like a mix of teacher and student focus activities. They definitely relied on the I do, you do, or I do, we do, you do format. Um, in biology classes, like all of my teachers in high school, they pretty much like they would start with a PowerPoint, and they would either have some sort of homework assignment or a lesson plan at the end of the day. But in college, it was mostly lecture based, and then we had a completely separate class for labs. And so often, like the lessons that I found that were effective for me were the ones where I got to be hands on. I learned the most in labs, and so I think as a teacher, as I become a teacher, I think the best thing to do is to kind of mix it up so that way I can get all of my students interested in biology and not just kind of focus on one type of student. And then also like the lessons that I saw that weren't as good. I remember watching this YouTube video once of this kid who was so fed up with doing worksheets in this class. He got up in front of the room and it was like yelling at his teacher because like, this is not how you teach a class. Like, you can't just assign worksheets every single day and expect us to learn anything. And he walked out, and I'm sure he got suspended, but I mean, he proved a very good point that you can't only use one method to reach students, especially when it comes to biology. I mean, it's so conceptually heavy that there's no way that they can remember all that information by just like doing the same thing over and over again. And it's not how you're going to learn different material. And like other ineffective techniques I found were like either strongly student or strongly teacher oriented. They didn't have like kind of a balance, and so like in the strongly student focused worksheets, unless they had like some sort of device that kind of like walked them through the steps, like the PowerPoints or the computer programs that we saw that like kind of move students through the lesson as they answer questions to prove that they know the knowledge. Unless they have some sort of guiding program like that, like there's no way that students can like understand and figure out what they're supposed to do. And so then, so my overall reflection of the unit, what I learned, it was important to mix up. You can't just, have like one format for every single day. You can't just have one format for every single unit, and you can't just give lectures all the time and expect the students to retain it. You've got to mix it up with worksheets and other stuff. And, like I talked to my mom a lot about like when she made her lesson plans and stuff, and even though like, in their district, they allocate each unit to a teacher and the teacher designs it. I mean, I'm still going to have to design units and stuff. And so I think that the techniques that I learned from this unit planning session will be very helpful. And it's been really great to get the good feedback.